Welcome back to Carib 21, wherever in the Caribbean or in the diaspora you're watching from. So today is Easter Sunday, and right across the Caribbean and in the Caribbean diaspora, we are celebrating this weekend with family and friends, celebrating the death and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And I believe that, this topic that I am very passionate about is the appropriate time to talk about it. And it's about one Caribbean. It's about love, unity, and respect amongst Caribbean nationals. And growing up in Jamaica back in the 80s, with just one TV station, and we didn't have social media. We didn't have ways of communicating with each other the way we have in 2025. So just imagine growing up as a child and you're hearing like all of these things about like Jamaicans, like everybody hate Jamaicans, like Trini hate Jamaicans, Bajan, and just that a lot of those negative vibes that I would grow up hearing. But not until, becoming an adult and was able to leave Jamaica and to go to Bermuda at the time. And then I realized that, look, sometimes when you hear stuff, like you just have to go and find out for yourself, because my experience in the diaspora, my experience among Caribbean community, a very strong Caribbean community for over 20 years, is that there's more love and more unity in the Caribbean community than I think we give ourselves credit for. And I think it's time for us to highlight the good and don't focus on the few negatives. And today, that is what I wanted to do. And the perfect example of how we can unite, I'm talking about two young men from the Caribbean, different parts of the Caribbean, Color Smith TV from Jamaica and Vince Vibe from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And these are two of my favorite YouTubers in the Caribbean. And I've been watching them for a long time now. And even seeing the first time that they connect. And just imagine that two strangers from two different parts of the Caribbean, they just connected and you could see like they're almost like brothers now. Like you could see a brotherly thing going on with them. And I believe that if we are going to be successful as a region in the Caribbean, this is what we're going to have to do. And I believe that these two young men are modeling, that type of unity. And just to see them, it's like amazing, because the negativity that comes out of the Caribbean easily when they talk about crime and violence and teenage pregnancy and broken homes in the Caribbean, that is what flood international media. Every year we see travel restrictions from different Caribbean islands, and pretty much the entire Caribbean in 2025 is under some type of travel restriction. And the type of unity and the type of camaraderie and the type of love that these two young men show, I believe that this is what we need to highlight in the Caribbean. And I've said it already, because I did a previous video on Color Smith TV and how when Color Smith goes to New York and goes to Miami, the love that the Caribbean diaspora showed this young man. And I believe that in the Caribbean, the leaders in the Caribbean, we are going to have the leaders are going to have to wake up and say, look, we talk about the destruction and the demise of the Caribbean community, and we've always tied it to young men in the Caribbean, because young men are the ones that pretty much destroy the Caribbean in terms of violence and a lot of the violent acts that are taking place in the Caribbean. The perpetrators are young men. And I remember saying it in a previous video that, look, when we see positive young men doing stuff that could change our community, they need to be highlighted. And one of the thing that I've noticed with Vince Vibes and with Color Smith, because for example, Vince Vibes now, St. Vincent is pretty much a new market when it comes down to tourism. And when you watch Vince Vibes and you watch his YouTube channel and you see the beauty of St. Vincent, like the places in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that you can go, that is a plus. And I believe that the government of St. Vincent should reward, Vince Vibes, or even collaborate. Because the thing is, for people who know me, who have been watching the channel for a while, I've been in hospitality for a long time. And I know when you're in New York, when you're in Toronto, and you see the ads coming on TV, like, the sandals or the Tourism Jamaica ad. These ads are expensive. They pay millions of US dollars every year to run these ads in in places like New York, like LA, like Toronto, like London, millions of US dollars to run these ads. And so when you have like a lot of these content creators that go around the Caribbean and they showcase the beauty of the Caribbean, they showcase some of the things that you would never see on ad. You'll never see them. Like you'll never see like Darkview Falls in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You'll never see like all the snorkeling, the spearfishing that Vinci Vibes will take you through on his videos. You'll never see like some of the places that Color Smith goes in Jamaica. A 30-second ad is not enough to show the beauty of the Caribbean. So I believe that, government in the region, they're going to have to work with these YouTubers, because we've seen other countries, like, for example, like even in Dubai, like we've seen Dubai fly content creators in, put them up for free, and pay them to show off Dubai. We've seen that, like, tons of content creators emerge into Dubai, and most of these guys are being paid to come and to show off Dubai. So I believe that is the strategy that Caribbean need to use in 2025, and it is way cheaper than putting an ad on MSNBC, on ABC, on CNN, because I've seen these ads on these multinational media corporation, and they are expensive. Yes, so I believe that with all the turmoil that is going on in the world right now, it is a perfect opportunity to reset and for us to focus as one CARICOM. And one of the interesting things that I don't think people realize, CARICOM, 22 nations that are part of CARICOM. Some are associate and some are full CARICOM members. But with those 22 member nations, that is over 40 million people that are part of CARICOM. And I believe that 40 million is not a small number to look at. And in terms of trade, in terms of even interregional tourism, that is something that we can look to and we can benefit from. We can work together as a region, because I think sometimes, like, people from, say, like Jamaica, when they think about tourism, like, okay, I want to go somewhere as a tourist, I believe that most people from the Caribbean, they're thinking like, oh, let me go to Times Square. I want to see the big lights. I want to see the high-rise building. But I think that, the Caribbean as a destination for us in the Caribbean, that should be an opportunity, because, like, I'm Jamaican, and, like, everybody think that they're from the most beautiful island. But when I left and I go to, for example, I've been to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and when you go to some of the places in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you're like, wow, this is beautiful. I've been to Barbados, same thing with Barbados, Bermuda, Bahamas. Everywhere you go in the Caribbean, there's something that is beautiful that you probably won't see in your island. And yes, you might want to travel to New York, you might want to travel to London to walk on the London Bridge. You might want to go to Toronto to see the CN Tower. But most of the places that I've been in my traveling experience is in the Caribbean, Cuba, Dominican Republic. I've been to all of those places, and everywhere in the Caribbean that I've traveled, I've seen something uniquely different and just breathtaking about that island. So I believe that, 2025 going forward, one Caribbean, we need to work together and to develop our region. And we see a lot of the leaders like looking to Africa, looking to the Middle East, and looking to other places to trade with, which is awesome. But I believe that until we can get this Caribbean, the block, CARICOM, trade with each other, and, tourism within the Caribbean, that is our first step, and that is what we need to do. So guys, sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think that the Caribbean leaders need to work with the content creators that are in the Caribbean, that are showcasing the beauty of the Caribbean? Let me know in the comment section what you think about it. And do you think that they are more positive about us, the love that we share in the Caribbean, than negative. You know, if you are from anywhere in the diaspora and you go to like a Caribbean church, there's a lot of Caribbean churches. I've been to church in New York, I've been to churches in Florida, and whenever you go to these churches, you see like St. Vincent flag, Jamaica flag, Barbados flag, Bahamas, and you see people from all over the Caribbean in that congregation living in harmony. When you go to the Caribbean festivals, whether it's Caribana in Toronto, whether it's the New York Caribbean Parade, whether it's in London, that's all Caribbean people living in love and unity. So 2025, more love, more unity in the Caribbean. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.